Oh man, it's chucking it down. It's absolutely chucking it down. Hailstones, rain, everything. And I've got to play football in this in about less than 1 hour. Um, right, so let's carry on with problems of evolution, everybody. Can I just say, if I come across as a bit, what's the word, forthright or whatever, and I'm not showing enough compassion to people with other views, I do apologise. Know that my heart is just for you to realise what I perceive as being the truth. And it's great to have debate. I love debate. I love chatting. I love the comments that we get into underneath these videos. Please keep that up. Let's continue to be respectful of each other as well. And let's just not bat it away and dismiss it and say something's rubbish before actually looking at the evidence itself. And I've looked at lots of evidence in the previous videos. Today I'm going to talk about the problem of ethics, though. The ethics of evolution. And, because there's some real problems that this idea, the theory of evolution, conjures up. All right, so let's take first one for example. If we are just like a bunch of biological elements trapped in this kind of body that's evolved, how can we have any kind of rights to justice or freedom or passions or happiness or even life itself? What gives us any greater value than the rocks or the reptiles or the trees or the termites? One person I used to work with, I looked at the theory of this and I said, well, effectively, what you believe is all coming from a simple cell. What makes us any better than a tree? And he was like, well, we're not. So I said, so basically what you're saying is to chop down a tree is as bad as killing a human? And he was like, yeah. I was just like, okay. I did not know where to go with that at all. So yeah, there's one issue. Another problem of ethics, the ethics of evolution, is seeing as it's impossible to jump from atoms to ethics and from molecules to morality. Why do we have an inbuilt sense of right and wrong? Where did conscience come from? And why does it have such an amazing power? Why do we feel guilty or ashamed at times with things that we do? Where does that come from? That sense of morality, if all we are is just molecules. Another problem, is if the survival of the fittest is like evolution's greatest prize, if you like, then why should we not encourage the non-survival of the unfit? Why should we care for the frail, the mentally defective, the chronically sick, the senile or the starving? Should we not just give evolution a helping hand by getting rid of them? And the sooner the better. That's one problem, isn't it? That's raised by the ethics of evolution. And if humans are no more than just grown-up germs, why are we the only species that seems to be preoccupied with death? Why should approaching it or delaying it be of the slightest concern to us? If we began life as a fluke and live a farce and we end as fertilizer, then what hope or help can we give to someone who is dying? This is the ethics, effectively, of where believing in evolution will result in when you take it to its extreme. The Nazis, they were all over this. The German Nazi Party, they developed a eugenics program, which was just that, trying to stamp out any people that they thought were inferior beings, inferior humans with inferior genes, and led to them to try and kill out the Jews. And that's they saw and pursued that path of what ultimately evolution hints to. And if you think that if people are taught in schools and they swallow this totally, and they believe that we came from nothing, we're going to nothing, then they'll quickly realise that life is meaningless, and they'll think, well, as soon as some difficulty comes along, why not just end? Why not just end it? Why not just stop the suffering right now? No wonder we have such high suicide rates, and they're just increasing because we're taught that we came from nothing or we're going to nothing, so what does anything matter? Well, let me tell you that that is not the case. That is not the truth. We did come from something. We are going to something. And what you do in this life matters enormously. So I pray that you will realise that there is a God who we will meet one day at the end of our human earthly lives. And we'll have to answer to that God who is the creator. And he created everything that we see. He created us. He formed us. It says in the Bible, he knits me together in my mother's womb. And if you've ever looked at how a human develops from an embryo, it's amazing. It's amazing. It is almost like God himself is crafting that person inside the mother's womb. And you know, the masses of DNA that goes into creating a human being, all that tons and tons of information that just is huge, that could not have just come about by chance, and information come about and added to over the years. It's just not possible. Information is lost, not added to. So I urge you to recognise and realise that, you know, God is real. You know, life has meaning, and live it to the full, and live it for God. And you will find satisfaction, you will find happiness, you will find joy when you find Jesus.